So lost in the mess of this whole COVID incident that's was caused by the Tennessee Titans, by the way, is that rookie cornerback Cameron Tiny Dantzler, a third-round pick out of Mississippi State, practiced on Thursday and is eyeing a return for the Sunday game against the Titans, which was not pushed back or rescheduled because the Titans. But yeah, whatever. It's phenomenal news. Frankly, the Vikings could use some help at cornerback, and Dantzler is a supreme talent. He's going to be a big part of this team going forward. Dantzler played well week one against Green Bay, even though, yes, the entire secondary was toasted, roasted, but I think overall there's a lot of positives to take from his game as that weren't there for Mike Hughes as well as Holton Hill. His coverage was solid. He was physical, flipped his hips well, mirrored well, all the things that attracted the Vikings to Dantzler in the third round. He had on display, as well as, remember, that was his first NFL action, like no preseason, blah, 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 same thing. But the first time you're actually in an NFL uniform, in an NFL stadium, up against NFL level competition, or as close as Devontae Adams is to that, he did okay. And then he cropped up on the injury report with a rib issue, but yeah. But honestly, I think that he did have the best game of all the Vikings cornerbacks. He led all qualifying Vikings cornerbacks with a 63.5 PFF coverage grade against Green Bay, despite giving up 7 catches, 81 yards, and a touchdown on 7 targets. And because there's a lot to like, and there's a big difference between just getting burnt because you blow your assignment, you can't stick with NFL speed and all that stuff, or you get beat despite great coverage. And that's what that long Allen Lazard touchdown was. Cameron Dantzler had perfect coverage. Just sometimes the octogenarian Aaron Rodgers gets lucky, and sometimes Allen Lazard makes a great catch, right? So it's part in that. Like we said, then he popped up week 2 on the injury report with a rib injury. It held him out of the Colts game. Probably could have used him, as well as the Tennessee Titans game on Sunday. And yeah, the Vikings cornerback room does need him because Mike Hughes is out with the retweaked friggin' neck. You got Jeff Gladney, who played 9 snaps against Green Bay and then finally got a shot against the Colts and the Titans, and it's been very... And then Holton Hill is the lowest graded qualifying PFF cornerback, which is not good. It's very much less than ideal. Texans are whatever at wide receiver, no nuke, but they got the leftovers of Brandon Cooks, the corpse of Randall Cobb, as well as Will Fuller, who's as of right now is not injured, but just give it another second, right? But obviously could use him, and it would be fantastic to get him back. But also, then Seattle, Sunday Night Football, having Cameron Dantzler back to help against Tyler Lockett, as well as rekindle that Egg Bowl rivalry with former Ole Miss star DK Metcalf, it would be great. Now, even though Dantzler went to Mississippi State, DK went to Ole Miss, that's one of the more underrated college football rivalries. They were never actually on the field against each other, even though they had a multi-years of overlap. So DK missed the game in 2016, as well as that was the year that Dantzler was a redshirt freshman. Dantzler missed a game in 2017 as a redshirt freshman. DK missed a 2018 game, and then he left the NFL. So they've actually never been on the field at the same time, despite being in school at the same time at rivals. But whatever. But I think Dantzler's size will help negate some of DK Metcalf's size, as well as that speed. I think it'll be a phenomenal matchup. And if Gladney is able to get his head out of his and get up to speed, I think his recovery speed going up against Tyler Lockett, and then you got the size of Dantzler going up against DK, I think that the Vikings would have a very solid shot, especially if Danielle Hunter comes back from the herniated disc in his friggin' neck for that game. The pass rush is able to get home. Afadi had himself his best game of his best game of the season against the Titans. They actually racked up 5 pressures, and also Yannick is starting to get there as well. So if they can put some heat on that Seattle science experiment of an offensive line and keep Russ in the pocket, and then they can lock down the receivers, the Vikings have a shot. But again, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Having Dantzler back against Houston would be a big boost. And also, with ribs, if it's not a broken rib, if it's like cartilage or something, like if you ever had a rib issue, like how painful it is just to, like, breathe, or just like, it's just like death. So as a cornerback out there, constantly reaching and extending yourself and landing on your body, it's tough, right? But if Dantzler is relatively good to go and he needs just a little bit of Dr. Feelgood to play, make sure that the doctor administering the shot did not go to the same medical school as the Chargers doctor. I mean, what they did to Tyrod It's inexcusable, man. Right. So yeah, Tyrod had a rib issue, and then they gave him a shot of lidocaine, and then they accidentally punctured his lung, which is not good, which is less than ideal. But anyways, having Dantzler back in the fold would be great. I want to extend a look on Cameron Dantzler if the season does go to pot. I do believe in his talent. I like Jeff Gladney. I love Cameron Dantzler, man, just because of the size, just because of his age, just because of his attitude, the way he approaches things. I think that he does have the higher ceiling between the two rookie cornerbacks, and would be great to get him back on the field because I think the Vikings do have a shot to save the season. I think Dantzler, after that on-the-job training week 1, he's a prideful dude. I obviously don't want to allow that to happen again, but the way that he covered, it just was what it was that day. I think he's performed the best of all the Vikings cornerbacks, so having him back in purple on the sidelines on Sunday and helping take care of the Houston wide receivers will be a huge boost for the Vikings if they want to save this season. Your thoughts? Cameron Tiny Dantzler potentially back in purple. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Post on the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.